Liane, thank you so much for joining me this morning for our League of Goddesses Spotlight interview. I am thrilled to introduce you to the women of the League. I know there's so many of them that already know you, but the ones that do not are in for a huge surprise. So thank you again for your time today.
I am excited to be here. Thank you for asking.
Oh, me too. Okay, so you already know how this interview process goes. The first few questions are just rapid fire, super easy questions. And then as we continue through, they get a little bit more deep and intense. Please feel free to take as much time as you need and just really be your true authentic self, which I know you always are. And I enjoy it so much. So I'm super excited for this interview with you. All right, that being said, my first question is, do you have a nickname? And if so, what is it?
Okay, so most people are like, oh, I have a nickname or I may not. I actually have two. So, in college, it was Lou. When I drank, it was Lucifer. So I guess I kind of.
Oh my God, dude.
I don't drink anymore. And then my stepdaughter, I've been with her since she was 2 years old. And so she calls me Honey. And so my in-laws call me Honey. Just everybody started calling me Honey in my family on my husband's side. So Lou, Lucifer, not proud of that one. Don't use that one anymore. And Honey. So I actually have three, I guess.
I feel like Honey is perfect for you. It's so amazing that she picked it at 2. Just like, Honey, like that is you. Just like so sweet and warm and like natural. It's all very natural.
Thank you.
I love that nickname. Okay, now tell us, when's your birthday?
Birthday is 9/10, so September 10th, 79.
Awesome. And you know what? I just kind of started throwing this question in there because somebody brought it up. Where are you located? City and state. So that when others hear you, they can connect.
Right. I'm in Raleigh, North Carolina.
Awesome. And then your favorite color?
My favorite color is black. Clearly my soul is not black. I'm a very bright like person, but there's something about black being a power color that just I've always loved.
Girl, me too. It's black.
I know you like it too.
Oh, yeah. I mean, not that you couldn't have guessed that by everything being black and white. I'm like, well, you have to have
one behind me. Yeah, it's like black and white, but if I have to pick one, it would be black.
That's so strange. I'm curious what that is. I would love to dive into why do so many women love that color? It's because there's a lot of women that give me that answer. And I'm intrigued by that. Maybe we'll do that later. Okay, coffee or tea, girl?
Coffee for sure.
Yes,
I just tried hot tea like for the first time in like 10 years the other day. And yeah, I'm coffee.
And it just didn't do it for you. You're like, where's my coffee?
It didn't have enough flavor. And I was like, well, if I put maybe 4 or 5 more packs in there, maybe I can get the flavor I want. And I was like, that's not the point.
Yeah. You're like, why do I have this much tea in my one little cup?
Right.
Okay, I love it. Okay, this question, I'm very curious with you because I don't think we've ever really talked about it.
Okay.
If you could only pick one, book, podcast, or blog?
It would be book. I am not a big blog reader and I'm not a big podcast. If I'm going to listen to something, it's typically going to be like music. So it would definitely be book.
I'm very much that way too. I don't listen to them. And when I do listen to something, preferably it's peace. I'm like, quiet. And then if it's not that, then you're right. It's music. So yeah, I feel you on that. Okay. That being said, since you're a book girl, I have to ask this question. Do you smell them?
Okay, no. And I
you don't.
Okay.
Yes.
I do not smell them
girl.
like you do. I saw your goddess spotlight. I have like just a few minutes left, and I was going to mention that to you. I am not a book sniffer. I'm so sorry to disappoint you, but no.
You didn't disappoint me. I'm like, okay, now I finally met someone who doesn't.
But I thought about it after you mentioned it. I was like, should I start sniffing my books? And I'm like, nah, that's not me. Not a book sniffer. I'll leave that one for Alicia.
But did you do it to see if they smelled?
Maybe.
Yeah. You don't want to.
It's like a gateway book. I'm not going to like start, sniffing books.
You're like, no. Okay, dude, I don't know what it is with that, but okay, we can move on. That being said, can you tell me what is your favorite book of all time? Like if you were going to be on a deserted island, which book would have to come?
Good that you say that, because if you're on a deserted island, you were going to, this is my husband's book. That's why it has all these tabs.
I love it.
So it's The Magic of Thinking Big by David Schwartz. And it's all about believing in your mindset and creating a mindset that you can be 100% capable of anything you want to do in life. Wow. So if you don't have the right mindset, I don't feel like you're really going to ever achieve the big dreams and goals you set for yourself. It's just going to be like on the hamster wheel. So this is a big one that we read a couple of times a year.
You guys reread it together.
Yeah.
Dude, that's
Chris
awesome.
Chris likes me to read aloud at night. I'm a super fast reader, and he like takes twice as long. So he's like, just read that out loud so we can finish at the same time. So yeah.
I love that because I've tried to get Charles to read books with me before too. And you don't stay at the same paces. And one of you does, one of you sticks to it, one of you doesn't. I'm not saying which one it is. But yeah.
Make him sit there and listen to you. You can quiz him after and be like, what did I read?
Did you listen?
Yeah, exactly.
I love it. And I love that that's something that you guys do together every year. Just reread it. That's awesome. I'm going to have to, if you're willing to spend the time to reread it, I'm going to have to buy it and try it. So thank you. And now can you tell me, is there a book that you are just devouring right now and you are all about it?
So I just finished this book, and this was the second time I started it, because the first time I was kind of like, there's some books that I'm just like, this is kind of like a meathead book. It's more for men, not for me. But my husband kept saying, you've got to read this. You've got to read this. And it's Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins. And I actually was able to meet him in person and hear him speak. And we're really like grit people in our family and in our household. I have my husband, Chris, and then our 3 kids. And so we really feel like grit and hard work is missing from a lot of families these days. And this book teaches grit like I've never seen it teach before, and about how you can push your body to the limits that you never thought possible by using your mind and your mindset. And so the things that he accomplishes, it's not something that you or I can probably do today or maybe ever, but it just shows with the right intentions and the right goals and the right mindset and really showing grit every day, you can achieve things that you never thought were humanly possible. And I think it's amazing because it just shows it's possible. He did it, and I may never be at this point, but I can push myself over and over and over again and not give up.
Yeah, I love it. I think what you're really pointing out is mindset is the most important thing. Everything starts there and everything ends there. Yeah. So if you've got your mind right, the sky is the limit and not really even there. So right. The universe is the limit. Awesome, Liane. Thank you for sharing those books. I feel like I want to read both of them. Okay, now can you tell me a little bit about your businesses? Because you have multiples. So let's hear.
So our main business, which is kind of our bread and butter, it's been open, we've been in business 17 years. I've worked there almost 12 years of that. My husband started it. It's called Integrated Communications, and we are mobile integrators. When I say that to most people, Chris is like, let's just tell people we sell hubcaps. It sounds less complicated, and we have done that several times. But basically, anything that has to do with mobility, strictly B2B, so business to business. We are not a retail shop that you can come in and buy a cell phone at. We work with businesses and sell cell phones, tablets, anything that's outside the 4 walls that you need mobility. So, what's going to go in the cab of a truck, salespeople that need to have cell phones, anything that's going to have software driving it as well, that's going to make you more automated and efficient in your job, is what we focus on. So when we say we're mobile integrators, we bring all the technology from a mobile standpoint and make it work to fit whatever solution you need based on your pain points.
Dude, that is awesome. I'm really I understood what y'all did, but the way that you preface it and explain it, it's just that's so easy. I would be way more interested in that than hubcaps, just so you know.
The hubcaps, I'd be like international hubcap sales. But we're also focused on working with a fractional CFO and setting us up to make sure that the value is where it needs to be to possibly sell it, in a few years as well. So next business that we're focused on is Yonder Digital. If you're from the South, I don't know if you would know this or not, but over yonder means over there. And so Yonder Digital is, it's basically a company. We haven't got it up. It exists, but we haven't really started marketing it yet. But it is where we teach businesses how to sell via video. So we can teach individuals to set up a green screen in their home office and what camera gear to get, what lighting to get. And we know this is difficult because we spent so much money trying to get it right. And we thought, wouldn't it be awesome, especially with the pandemic and everybody working at home, if we could teach other businesses how to look more savvy with their marketing and their video at home without having to spend tons of money trying to get it right. So we like to coach people on how to use video to sell. and how to set up home offices or studios in their office with large green screens or shiplap backgrounds or what have you. So we really want to help people, and that's what we love to do. And Chris and I love to talk, so that's where Yonder Digital came from. So that's more this year.
Yeah, that is awesome. I think especially you've got perfect timing for that, because people are trying to make sure that, obviously a lot of them are working from home, and then just making sure that they do keep up that professional level. You don't have to dress so much anymore, but you definitely have to make sure that your backgrounds are right. I mean, a year and a half ago, we never would have thought about how does it look on a screen? It doesn't matter. You're going to a meeting or you're talking on the phone, and now Zoom is just unreal. I still kick myself for not buying any of their stock. Just dude.
I know, right?
Who would have known that Zoom would be what it is? So, okay. That being said, can you tell me, Liane, what is your bliss?
Okay. So, I think as women, we kind of think, what are people going to think of me when I say this? But I'm like, you know what? If there is one group of women that's authentic, it is this group. My bliss is napping. Napping, oh my gosh, it resets my mind and recharges me like nothing else. I can't explain it. It's just it just brings me to peace and just re-energizes me for the day. Now, I don't nap every day, obviously. There's no siestas at this house or at the office, but I really like napping. It's it's just my thing that I like to do.
Do you fall asleep easily?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
I am not one of those people that has it down to a science where I'm I can fall asleep and sleep for 29 minutes. When I nap, I'm 2 hours in. I'm champion napper, but I can usually fall asleep within 10, 15 minutes.
Wow. And then when you wake up, are you crabby?
If I'm not woken up by someone else, yes. If I wake up on my own, I'm fine.
Yeah, Charles hates if I take naps. He's like, you're so cranky when you wake up. And I'm like, what do you mean? Fuck you. I am so cranky.
Chris doesn't let anybody on the floor I'm even on when I'm napping. He's like, don't go anywhere near the door. Don't make noise.
Leave her alone.
Yeah, don't wake your mom.
I mean, hey, at least he cares. Make sure he gets what she needs.
He has his own reasons for making sure I get naps, Alicia, but that's a whole different
story. Whatever motivates him, right? Are you getting what you want?
Exactly.
I really don't care how you get from A to B. I just need the result.
Right.
I know sometimes that part of me is that's what can make me such a great executor, but it also that same tendency can make things not as joyful, because I don't care about I don't care about the process. Pick whichever one's most efficient.
Yeah.
And Charles is just dear God, woman. Sorry, have to learn to turn that off and on, right? Okay, so can you tell me, why did you join the League of Goddesses?
So, I'm in a couple of other entrepreneurial groups, right? But I was really looking for something that felt like I had girlfriends, but also a business network. And obviously I had met you, and you are what drew me, you are what made me want to join the league. The first time we met, you say you have selfish giving, you invited us into your home, you gave me a gift that was unexpected. You're so free flowing with your knowledge and business. And I thought, I didn't really know women like this existed without wanting something in return. And I thought, okay, if Alicia's doing this, then I should probably be in this because it's something good. And then once I got in, I realized there was no expectation of me. There was no pressure on me to perform at a certain level like a circus monkey or pay X amount of dollars per month. And again, I would 100% pay to be in this because it's worth it to me. But to find like-minded women that I also feel I'll have lifelong relationships with it's priceless. It's priceless. And the fact that I can pick up the phone right now and call these women for personal or professional, I mean, it's something I didn't think I would find at my age. And that's one of the greatest gifts that I feel like I've been given in my adult life.
Oh, Liane, that just makes me first of all, it gives me chills because I relate so much to what you're saying. I remember probably a few years ago thinking how do you even make friends? When you were young, it's very easy. They're around, right? And I think that Bumble app came out, and that's what kind of intrigued me. How would you even make girlfriends? And because it was lonely, and it's I'm not talking about just girlfriends who will go out and drink with you. I'm talking about women who want to engage with you mentally, spiritually, and engage in how can we grow and achieve these dreams that we have. And that is what the league was built for. And it's women like you that make it. I can have the idea all I want, but if there aren't amazing women like you and the other women that we have in the league, then it wouldn't work. So I'm just so thankful that you feel that and that you're willing to be a part of it and share and just help me continue to create this place for women. So thank you, Liane. Can you tell me now, what do you hope to attain from the league?
I think I want to attain more than anything, I think consistent support. I am one of those people that very much can kind of go in, kind of become a hermit and kind of go into my own world. And in order to grow, you have to be uncomfortable. And this group of women is the type of women that are not going to let me just fall back into the shadows and not check on me and say, hey, what are you doing? What goals are you setting? How are you feeling? I think everybody in this world needs the type of support system that is going to help them be their best. And I feel like that's what the league does for me. It brings women that are going to support me consistently and not just once a quarter. You know what I mean? So I think that consistent support is what I'm looking for in the league.
I really like how you worded that. I hadn't heard it that way before, but I think that is such an important thing for us. And as women, I think, hundreds of years ago, we had communities. And, when we were all on our period, we'd all go hang out for a week together. I'm like, that's a great idea. I'd love to reinstate that. And can we just do that in Aruba every month? Like first we need to all get on the same sync and then be like,
I don't have a period, but I'm in.
You wouldn't have to tell anybody. My hormones still, go up and down. And so I think it's my period. But girl, I think that we have missed that community, right? And so to have it here, it's so awesome. And I'm so glad that that's what you're looking for. And you verbalized it so well. And my goals for the league in 2021 are to definitely help create and cultivate more of that. And so you'll see that with Tea Time. That is exactly what it's all about. And I am so excited. This quarter, all of the ideas, it's like I didn't get my download until January. And I was like, damn it. Because you know how I am with my
with your planning. Yes.
Yeah. I'm like, I would have loved for the first quarter to have it all, but that's okay. Second quarter will be our big, bang with everything kicking off. But I cannot wait to follow back up with you and see if you feel like the things that we have tweaked and changed really help support you even more consistently. So super excited about that. Now, can you tell me, what do you wish to contribute to the league? I know you're a giver. And so when you think about the league, what is it that your heart just fills up with and wants to share?
What makes me feel best or fulfilled, and I guess would be my second bliss, is supporting other women. I don't have a degree in psychology, I don't have a doctorate in anything, but I do think I have a PhD in sunshine. I am the type of person that, like, my dream job would be to call people every morning to brighten their day, like motivate them. Like, if I could have a dream job, I'm like, Chris, do you think I could make money at this?
Dude, I think you could.
I love the feeling of making others happy. I love the feeling of making others motivated or supported. And, whether it's singing a song, whether it's just leaving a voice note that says, I'm thinking about you today, I know you're having a rough time, like, that is what I can give to the league, is just a voice that can be there when people are going through tough times business-wise or, personally, and not just when things are tough, but when things are good. It's still great to hear a happy voice on the other end, even if it's a voice note or just a text or a silly video. So I'm one of those people that, we own a couple of businesses. Like I said, we have 3 kids, we have 4 dogs now. So life is busy, but life should never be too busy that you can't love on the people that are there to support you back. So that's my gift, is I want someone to feel comfortable enough in the league to say, you know what, I really need some extra support this week. And I will say to them, every other day, I'm going to send you a voice note. I want you to send one back. It doesn't have to be long. It doesn't even have to be happy if that's not how you're feeling, but stay in touch with me. So I know that sounds kind of like a weird offer, but that's kind of where I feel like my gift is just staying in touch and keeping people going on a positive note.
I love it. That is so you. I'm just like, dude, I've gotten your songs in the morning. And I was just like, what is this? And can I have it every
I've been
day?
singing to you lately. I just had some pop in my head, so I'll be sending them your way.
Oh, lovely. I don't think I ever smiled so big on my drive to work. And I was just like, fucking Chris, he gets this shit every day. Like, what? I want her.
Hey, it can happen. You just tell me what days you want me to send you a voice note. I got you, Alicia.
Oh, I just love you. You know, I'm going to think about the days of the week that are the most hectic and be like,
Yeah.
Liane.
You just tell me, I'm up early. You will have it waiting for you. You just let me know what day.
You are literally not only act like your sunshine, you rise like the sun. It's like 4:30, here she comes.
I hit the ground running. Like when I'm up, I am up. I'm definitely a morning person.
You are. Are you Eastern time?
I am.
Yeah. Okay, great. Because I'm just like, this woman gets up at 3:30 in the morning. Because at 4:30, I'm seeing you.
No, I'm not up at 3:30. No.
4:30. Okay. Okay. Now, Liane, tell me, who is important in your life?
So you've heard me mention my husband, Chris, a couple of times. And I would say he's the most important person because he's my best friend. He's my soulmate. He's my business partner. And he really helped me through some things in my life earlier on, like in my early 30s, that helped me overcome some really deep rooted issues I had. And I had never had anyone love me like he had loved me. He loved me through all of them. He was like that. He's like one of those people on the intervention shows on TV. He was like, let's come together, mom and friends, and let's help her. But he showed me a love that I'd never experienced in my life. And, I didn't believe in like getting married and having kids. It's not that I didn't believe in it. It just wasn't a priority to me. I was really focused on climbing the corporate ladder, in my 20s to like 30s and moving around and really just living it up. And then he came along and, he had a little one. Ella, my stepdaughter who calls me honey, was only 18 months at the time. And it totally changed my whole world with where I was in my career to where I thought I would be, being single and not, and going out every night and having fun. And it all changed when we reconnected. And I've known him since high school, but we did not date in high school. So I would say he is my best friend. He is my special person. He's my soulmate.
Oh, I love it, dude. I feel you. And I think when you are, I could say blessed, but just so fortunate to have that person in your life. And I think that I as well have that. It's just like, you can't even really describe, it's invaluable. And I'm so thankful every day for the time that we have together. And when he annoys the shit out of me, I try to remember like, hey, you aren't guaranteed this. And then my second thought is, no other man would put up with my shit anyway.
I know, right? I'm like, nobody else wants this.
Nobody else would love this crazy like he does.
Exactly.
And then I'm like, you know what, you little shit, I love you so much. And so I think that when you have that in someone who just gets you and truly values you as a human, and then also sees your potential and doesn't let you fall short of it, then it's just like, this is an invaluable relationship. And we are so fortunate to have those in our lives. So I wish that for everyone who wants it. I'm like, if you want it, I know the universe will find it for you. So,
and both you and I met these guys like a little later on in life, after we had, other people and other, careers. And I think that's kind of maybe what helped us is it was a little later. I think we were more certain of kind of what we wanted and what we didn't want.
Yes. I don't know if I would say I was more certain of what I wanted, because I think he showed me what I wanted, but I was definitely certain of what I didn't want. And so when I saw that he, like, I could come at him like that and he didn't sway. And I was just like, oh, also I couldn't manipulate him. And I was like, well, that's a plus. Like,
this guy's the one for me, you thought.
Because you know how guys are. It's like,
bless his heart, Charles.
I know, like, I'm testing all these things on him. And then when he was just like, I will never forget it. I don't even remember what it was that he was saying, but he was like, well, that's not what you said you wanted, but if you want to be that way, that's fine. And I was like, oh, no guy would ever.
He calls you on your shit.
Yes.
Like, that's what you need.
Yep. And I was like, all right, that's it. Hey, you close the deal, I guess. I didn't need a big rock. I just needed to know that like you could handle me. Right. And so having somebody like that in your life who can be the mirror for you, it's invaluable. Anyway, enough about him. I don't even know how that got there. I think I just really enjoyed talking with you. So, okay, tell me next. This question I always really enjoy because you can take it two ways. What dream have you made come true? And that can be a dream of your own, or maybe a dream that you helped facilitate for someone else.
I had a little bit of trouble with this one because until I joined the league, I was never, I wouldn't say I was a real big dreamer. I'll daydream, but as far as like saying, oh, I want this dream to come true, I had not really thought about that until I saw the Dream Garden, right? And I was like, I've really got to start thinking more on this. And it's kind of like what you said, you didn't know what you needed until Charles showed you. I didn't know, I guess my dream was becoming a mother until I became one. So I think that would be the dream that was fulfilled for me, even though I didn't have it in my mind that this is a dream of mine. But, having a stepdaughter, which is a ready-made family, and then having two other children, I feel like I'm a really good mom. And like a lot of women are really shy to say that because momming is not easy. It is not easy. But I kind of feel like I'm a busy mom, BUSI-MOM, business mom, because I know I'm not one of those people that's like, oh, you can have it all. Like it's always going to be hard as shit. There is no balance, in my opinion. But I can have my dream of being a businesswoman and my dream of being a mom and combine it into a busy mom. Yeah. So I feel like my dream is kind of twofold. I never really knew that a dream of mine was to become a mom until I became one. But my identity was so wrapped around everything I'd worked for in the corporate world and the business world that I realized like I have to mesh these together to feel complete, right? Like I can't just be mama and I can't just be businesswoman or entrepreneur. I need both of these worlds to collide and meet. So I would say becoming the busy mom, I guess, was kind of my dream come true. And I knew I wanted to be a businesswoman. I felt I was great at it, in my career, which was completely different than what I'm doing. Not completely different, but very different than kind of the industry I'm in now. But then when the kids came into the mix, I was like, I really love this and I'm really good at it. Yeah. So I guess that's kind of my dream is being the best mom I can be, but also not losing my identity as a woman and as a businesswoman. I love a long-winded answer.
No, it was beautiful. And it's such a great picture for you to be able to paint to other women that, hey, it's possible. And you said something, you're like, there is no balance. But Liane, I think that you're actually living that balance. You literally just told me you're doing it. You're an amazing mom, and I already know you're an amazing entrepreneur. So you've just created this beautiful world, and the balance ebbs and flows, right? What's needed from you moves, and you just kind of go right along with it. I think you're slaying it, lady. I'm like, what do you mean no balance? You're balancing it all. You got like a million.
Alicia, you and I are very type A, and I think that we're constantly pushing ourselves to be
me? What are you talking about?
We're constantly pushing ourselves to be better. So when I say there's no balance, I'm thinking maybe I can always be better at this versus this, and there's always a different way. So I think I manage it, and I manage it well. But I can always get better.
Yeah, well, I think you're killing it. I'm just like, yes, we're all going to continue to, like a fine wine, age and improve. But from the outside looking in, it's beautiful to see.
Thank you.
And I think it's a great example for other women that, hey, how is Liane doing it? If you guys have questions for her, I mean, like you said, you've got two families that you've melded together and you've done such a beautiful job at it with so much peace and happiness that I think that that's an amazing gift that you can share with others. Not only did you mom in business, but you mom in business an additional family. So that adds a whole nother layer to it. That's beautiful. Okay, so now tell me, what does your heart desire at this time? Like, what is it that you're just like, oh my God?
It kind of hit me when I turned 40. I'm 41 now, but I realized at 40, there was an acceptance I wanted in myself. That's what I desire more than anything. It's not striving for constant perfection, but constant progress. I think we I tell my kids, and I heard this off of like one of those families that had like 18 kids or something, the Duggars or something on TLC, but they always said practice makes progress. And so I don't strive for perfection. I strive for progress because I feel like if I continue to progress, I will continue to get better. So I guess my desire is to continue progressing in acceptance of myself and realizing that I'm enough. I think that media, all kinds of media these days, social media says that you need to be this weight or you need to have this hair color or you need to do this and this. you're enough because that's how God made you. That's how I feel. So I feel like acceptance is what my heart desires more than anything, and not being so hard on myself because, I woke up today. I am blessed. I am happy. And of course I have shit days. I mean, I'm not, Susie Sunshine every day. I am for other people, but I'm not always feeling that way myself. But I want to feel, my desire is to feel just peace and acceptance where I'm at in my life, and to continue to progress as a woman, as a mother, as a friend, as a badass goddess.
Yes.
So that's kind of where my heart's at right now.
I love it. That's beautiful. And I think kind of you hit the nail on the head earlier with type A personalities that we are. Acceptance is like, am I accepting mediocrity from myself?
Right.
You're always questioning that. And it's just like, no, you're appreciating the way that you were built and who you truly are. That doesn't mean that you're going to stop growing and achieving and becoming more, but that's a beautiful balance, and I'm working on it too. So any tips you have, I'm here to hear.
Pointers, you let me know, Alicia.
Right back at you, girlfriend. I'm just like, that one's hard for me. So it's, it's like you said, it's a balance. And I think it's kind of fun to play around with and really see, like, am I accepting myself? And then also, even more than accepting, am I grateful, right? Grateful for who it is that makes me who I am. So
that's such a strong word, grateful. Yes. Yes.
Yeah. I think we're grateful for a lot of others, and sometimes we forget to be grateful for who we are, right?
Absolutely.
Awesome. Okay, so now here come the hard questions. I'm just like, these ones are always, oof, at least for me, when I read them off, I'm like, ooh, if you need some time, take it. Okay, what vision do you have for the future of humanity?
Okay, so what's interesting about the league is until I met the just amazing women in the league, they're different than any other like female group I've ever been in when it comes to intuition and dreaming. And this is going to sound bad, and I thought to myself, this sounds bad, like I've been living in my bubble, but I worry about like other people, but I don't think about like the vision of humanity. So until this group and questions started flowing, and that in the Mighty Network about, well, this, what would you do for humanity and this and this? I was like, I don't think big enough. Thank God I am in this group, because I need to get out of my bubble and start thinking larger. So I thought about this yesterday, right? And I am very much, like I said, a positive person. If I could have a vision for humanity, it would be something based around unity. I feel like there is such a divide, whether it's racial divide, political divide in the world, not just in our country, that there needs to be a unity. And like you were saying before, communities, we don't have unity in our communities anymore like we did before. And we need to become one world again. There's just too much fighting and arguing, and this person's right and that person's right and you're wrong and you're right. We need unification, in my opinion, in humanity. And if we come together, we will, I think, see that there's a lot more in common that we have than we thought, just by the common good of coming together and trying to work together. I think there's too many people that are kind of in their own little cliques, no matter what those are, and we're never going to get to where we want to be as a human race if we're not unified as people.
I so feel you on that one. And it's just remembering that we are. People acknowledging it doesn't change whether or not it's the truth. It is the truth. We're all connected. We're all brothers and sisters.
We have to execute. We have to put in the work. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I think for me, the more that I feel connected to the people in the world, the kinder I am, just naturally. And it's like, oh, I can give them grace, or just look the other way. Dude, I've had my days too. And you realize, like you said, there's so much more similar than not. And I think that that's usually where the divide comes, when we think we're different than, I'm different than you, and we all have different gifts, but that's about the only difference. Like, what are the things that you're awesome at? Everything else, we come from the same place. So it's like, oh, just remembering that we're all here together. Yeah. That's beautiful. I love unity.
My children, we're all red on the inside. We all have the same color blood, like we are all humans, so, we start from there, that everybody's the same on the inside, I
agree. Beautiful. Okay. So can you tell me, does this vision for humanity affect your decision-making processes? Once you kind of realize, like, hey man, this is my thing. This is what I would love to see. How has it impacted you?
So I think that anyone that is in the entrepreneurial space has a duty to help right, with the vision for humanity, or, kind of this area that we're talking about. So as an entrepreneur, we have core values in our business. And to give you an example, it's, create a positive impact, do the right thing. To me, and we have several others, but if you're living those every day and you're teaching those in your culture at work, and then those individuals are spreading it out in their families and their friends, to me, you are doing what you should do to help that vision in humanity, because you're teaching the right things to the people that you support and that support you every day. And in our business, we have everything from people right out of college to, people in their 50s. So it really runs the gamut with the generations, but the message is the same. We let our team know we hire and fire on core values. If you're not doing the right thing, you cannot work here. If you're not creating a positive impact, you cannot work here. And again, that's just some, but I feel like if you're creating that message and that expectation at work, that vision will spread and it will help unify, because the things we're teaching it's doing the right things. And I think people are born innately to do the right thing. I think that's why you have a gut instinct. Now, again, people are taught wrong, right? We know that. It's like training a pit bull to fight. They didn't come out wanting to fight. They were trained to fight. But we are all born wanting to do good, in my opinion. It's learning differently that changes things. So if we are teaching good and we are teaching, how to create positive impacts, in our business, and it's infiltrating those communities, that unity will hopefully find us, So that's kind of how I see, if I were to share, that's how I would, show the vision of humanity, which again, yesterday is when this all kind of hit me. So.
No, I mean, you've just been doing it. It's like you're such an executor. You didn't even this is the way that it goes. But I couldn't agree with you more. When you are an entrepreneur, you have a greater responsibility to lead. And I do think that that's how it works. It's grassroots. It's like, who are the people that I'm impacting? Those are the people that I have the most impact with. And how can I show them, lead by example? That's really what it boils down to. I love that you're cognizant of that in your business. Can you tell me more? I mean, you kind of already answered this question, but maybe you have a little bit more of a deep dive you can go into. How have you implemented these actions into your business to help create that vision, other than living by those core values? Is there anything else that you do? Any other tips you could share?
So obviously we help with charities to show that we're doing the right thing in our community. We will do things to create positive impacts within our own team, as in we will go in and every Wednesday morning we will play Family Feud. And we will have fun, right? Because again, that positivity, if people are happy at work, hopefully they're going to take that into their home. Let's see what else. We'll have quizzes on it with team members that will give out gift cards, to talk about the core values. We will actually say, if there's a coaching and counseling, if somebody makes a mistake because there was a training issue, we're going to retrain them. If somebody does not follow one of our core values, we're going to sit down and ask them, what should you have done differently? How did you not follow this core value? So I think just learning and then relearning and just repetition at work of just, it has to infiltrate the minds of your team and that mindset. And I think that would kind of be where I would see that. So I kind of answered, that question before a little bit.
No, and the additional things were great ideas. I love it. Beautiful. Okay, so what I realized, Liane, is I forgot one of my favorite questions. I used monday.com for my questions, and I hit done, and it was not done. Okay. So my question that is one of my favorites out of all of these that I forgot to ask you is, if you weren't Liane and you were talking about who Liane was to one of your girlfriends, how would you describe her?
Oh my God. I would say that if I were to talk about Liane and it was not me, I would say that she's someone you can trust. I would say she is someone that's not catty. She's someone that's going to be, there are, real good friends and feel good friends. I am a real good friend. I am not, and my husband came up with that. I'm not going to sugarcoat things for you because that's what you want to hear, because to me, that's not real friendship. To that Liane, that's not real friendship. So I would say that Liane is a real good friend, not a feel good friend, but she's going to support you and give you all the warm and fuzzies when you need that. And when you need that serious talking to, she's going to do that as well. I would say that she's someone that you can always pick up the phone and call, and it's like riding a bicycle. It's like nothing ever left off, whether it's been 3 months or 6 months. I would say she's someone that is not going to ever be the smartest person in the room, but she will always be quick-witted and have something to come back with, and will always do her best to figure it out, or find someone that can if you have a question. But she doesn't want to be the smartest person in the room because she wants to always be learning. So I would say that is Liane if I were to describe her. And she's quite funny as well. She has quite a sense of humor and probably was a comedian in a past life or wanted to be.
Dude, I am so glad I am your friend. I'm just like, yes, everything you're saying, all I can keep up in my head. Yeah, that's her. That's her. That's her. I love it.
I'm like, I'll look at my husband and I'll be like, was that not so funny what I just said? You didn't think that was funny? I thought it was funny.
Dude, I do that shit too. And Charles is like, you have a unique sense of humor. And I'm like, okay. Because mine are always like thoughtful. Like you have to think about it to get it. I started doing, and now I have to tell you this. So I started doing this thing where when people ask if they can take my temperature, I tell them, I'm like, oh, of course. It's just going to tell you I'm hot though. And I'm like, I'm waiting for them.
Like, oh, wait, did she just say that?
No, they don't. They're like how hot? And then they take it and they're like, no, you're good. And I'm like, oh, every time my heart.
Yeah, people can't even get good jokes anymore.
I know. My heart just breaks a little bit. I asked like 4 people in a row and finally a guy got it and laughed. And I was like, yes!
I got it. Yeah, I love it.
Like I did it with my sister and when they asked to take hers, I was like, well, she's going to be hotter than me. And Charles was like, it's not funny, Alicia. And I'm like, I think it's so funny.
But you have to have a sense of humor. I mean, this is such a serious time. It's like, I mean, what are you going to do? Crawl in a hole and just wait for things to end? I mean, you have to, okay, again, you and I are a lot alike, so we have to have a sense of humor. We're not just going to be like super serious all the time. You know, but
it's more fun that way. And it's like, okay, I can handle this bullshit because I can laugh about it. Right. And so that's what I'm always trying to like something to laugh about the scenario. But
like if I offend you, then we're probably not to be too close.
Yeah. If my jokes offend you, I'm sorry. It's not going to change.
Exactly.
Dude, I love that about you. Okay. So my last question is, if you could share one piece of advice that someone gave you that just rocked your world or, switched your paradigm for you, what would it be?
Okay. So again, I feel like I'm always kind of the KISS acronym, keep it simple, right? I'm not going to say stupid because I'm not stupid, but keep it simple. The biggest thing that has impacted me, I would say in business for certain, is I learned right out of college when I was working in the hotel industry to inspect what you expect. And even, 2 decades later, that has been such a huge part of my business world. And I say it to my team all the time. Like when something goes wrong, I'm like, well, did you inspect what you expect? And so that is a huge one. And people get it because it's not hard to understand. I'm like, if you didn't check this, this is like this because of that. So, and I have to say it to myself when I make a mistake. I'm like, I didn't follow my own mantra, which is inspect what you expect. And it doesn't change just because you get great at something doesn't mean that it's always going to be right. You still have to stick to that basic principle throughout business and not think that you're too big for your britches and that you can't make a mistake. So if you continue to think, did I inspect what I expect? Then you will continue to show that progress and show that consistency in business. So that is mine.
That one was killer. I literally had to write it down. You were saying it. I'm like, yes. Oh my God, yes. Like phenomenal. Thank you, Liane. Because I think that that's a very succinct way. And you're right. Anybody can get it. And then it's just like, hey, this is my MO. Did I inspect?
It's not rocket science. It's very basic. But a lot of times, common sense isn't so common. Basics aren't so basic. And if you don't look over what you're doing, you have no one to blame but yourself or hold yourself accountable if something goes wrong. Yeah. So inspect what you expect, Alicia.
Beautiful. Yes, ma'am. I think I naturally do that, but I assume others do too. And that's where,
Oh, and that's where you'll make a mistake because,
the assumptions, man. But that is a beautiful way to put it and just like a quick reminder. And I think easy for people to remember. Thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome.
All right, girl. I have to tell you, I had so much fun on this interview and I learned a lot from you. So thank you for just showing up, being you. And from now on, can I call you honey?
Oh, no, you can call me honey anytime, Alicia.
So cute. And now that your hair, like you darkened it a little bit, it looks like honey.
Hey, I might come dressed up as a Pooh Bear with a jar of honey at
How about you be the honey and I'll be the poo? Because, who always wants more honey?
Oh, I love it. Alicia, thank you so much for the opportunity to talk with you this morning. I love you so much.
Oh, I love you too.
All you're doing for the league. Thank you.
No, thank you. I'm just so happy that you're part of it and appreciate you always giving. You're a phenomenal woman, and we're all very blessed to know you.
Thank you so much.
I love you, girl.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.